We're back to Wifco Field, and we just witnessed an instant classic. Let's talk Blitzball. Welcome to the Blitzball Boys, the podcast about Blitzball and boys, but lately about Blitzball. I'm your co-host, Brendan Rebel, along with my fellow host, Peter Del Rey.
Hey, Brendan. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It really has been a while though. It feels like Game 9, Adam versus Caden was. I know it was like 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's been like months.
Yeah, because we caught up so fast, and then we went to a screaming halt.
Yep.
And the funny thing is, it was 2-3 weeks for us, but this all happened the same day for them. Maybe across the course of a couple days. I don't know.
A couple days. Yeah, I think it was a couple.
It was interesting though, like hearing them talk about how badly they needed water and were like cramping up. It was like, oh yeah, they probably played a lot. They threw a lot of pitches, swung a lot. And like Joey's up there taking like fucking daddy hacks. And like, yeah, I would be cramping too if I was playing Blitzball all day in the summer heat.
Summer heat? I don't think it was the summer.
Maybe like the dog days of August, maybe.
The dog days of September, maybe.
September could be hot.
Maybe August. I don't know.
It's a global warming podcast. Know.
We'll get somebody on here to talk about it eventually.
An earth scientist?
An earth scientist. So I never took earth science.
I don't know much about the climate, but I know about rocks.
Hello, bring me your best earth scientist. So kind of a surprising semifinal, as we've talked about before, 4 seed versus 7 seed, where both of these guys have been playing incredibly, really, throughout this whole tournament. I think nobody was really expecting it. Maybe Joey, the way that they talk about him, maybe they were like expecting him to have this type of performance.
Right, they mentioned that he's one of the best pitchers that they have.
But like you see Adam, number 1 ranked famously, lost his first game, started just going, like he picked it up as he was playing, as opposed to these two who just started hot.
And we'll get into it later too about how important it is that now that we have started the 2-inning games and how you have a chance to come back in a second inning, and that's exactly what happened.
Another chance.
2?
Oh, my God. Oh, dude. Wow. The wordplay's incredible.
Man, that's a great start.
Yeah, Brendan. So let's keep this great start going.
Oh, no.
With a little bit of a burn.
I'll be honest. This is going to be rough because it's a long one.
Best burn yet.
And I'm going to trip over my words, so here we go.
Best burn yet. 3, 2, 1, best burn yet.
Best burn yet.
Best burn yet.
It's Joey Aioli versus Lorenzo Brisk in the first of 2 semifinal matchups. Lorenzo, looking to continue his underdog run, kicks off the first inning like Mr. Burns' worst nightmare with 3 homers. Down 5-0 in the first, Joey has his work cut out for him, but he ends the inning still shutout. Do or die for Joey in the mound as he can't let up a single run and still has 5 runs to make up for. Like a sad dad, he does his job here but knows he's still got more work to do. Lorenzo starts the second inning looking as sharp as my 5-year-old knife set from Marshall's. He walks the bases loaded and then lets up a grand slam to let Joey within 1 run. The bases get loaded again, but things get interesting when Lorenzo gets Joey down to 2 outs and 2 strikes just before Joey finishes the impossible and comes all the way back to push it to a swing off. The boys go back and forth for 3 rounds with dominant pitching before Lorenzo finally cracks and Joey DeMayo completes his comeback to move on to the finals game of the tournament. Wow.
That's impressive. No stumblage.
A little bit. I think I was about to pass out.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It was a lot longer than I expected it to be.
Me too.
Because we've done these burns before for 2-inning games. Nothing like this.
I think I was like writing it out as I watched the episode a second time, took notes along with it, and then used those notes as like mark points, and then I wrote out like little funnies to give us like
just little ones
back and forth. And then when I read it back to do like little edits, I was like, you know what? No cuts. I just left it all in because I sort of liked it, and then the parts that weren't funny were like kind of instrumental to the plot. So I left it as, and it was a challenge for myself.
It's so crazy how long this was.
And I felt
Just
like
because
it fit too because like, you know what? This is the first 2-inning game. We also push it
we've
to
had
extras and like, you know what? Long
right.
burn.
But we've had higher scoring games. I mean, look at the championship from Blitzball Battle 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like that was a higher scoring game.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I'm just working hard.
Whatever. Good job, Brendan. That was a really good one.
Thank
I like
you.
Joey Aioli a lot.
I was trying to think of a Mayo thing, and I'm like, I'm sure he gets all that dumb shit all the time. I wonder if anyone's called him Joey Aioli. I was going to go call him Chipotle Mayo, but Aioli's good.
Aioli's kind of mayo, right?
I think Aioli is the fancy word for mayo.
Mayo.
It's a French word for it.
I think it's just mayo with garlic.
It might have to have garlic in it. I'm not sure. Did you
Might
like
have to have garlic in it, we're not
Lorenzo
sure.
Zobrist?
I did, but I didn't because Ben Zobrist is known for being clutch, and that is the opposite of what Lorenzo was in this game. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know anything about his player profile. I just couldn't help. In my head, I just kept saying Lorenzo Zobrist. I don't even know what team he's on.
You didn't know anything about Ben Zobrist?
Was he on the Cubs?
He was on the Cubs.
Okay, so
and he was on the Tampa Bay Rays.
I bet the kids listening probably don't know who Ben Zobrist is.
They definitely know who Ben Zobrist is.
I don't know. I wouldn't know him if I was 20 years old.
They knew who Albert Pujols was. They know who Ben Zobrist is.
Well, he was playing last week.
They were talking about Albert Pujols on the Cardinals back in the day when we had Sammy and Caden on here.
Yeah, but they're Cardinals.
They definitely know. Plus, there's guys from
Chicago?
Illinois, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Who play in this tournament.
So maybe they love that.
Ben Zobrist played in 2019, Brendan. You out of your fucking mind.
That's like 4 years ago. They were mere children 4 years ago.
Kind of nuts. That's way longer than I thought he played in the league.
Me too. I thought he was like done 2011.
I know that he won with the Royals and then the Cubs back-to-back years.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. So it was like 15, 16, and then Benjamin Zobrist. Benjamin Zobrist. But off of Zobrist talk into Lorenzo Zobrist talk.
And Zobrist talk will be a weekly segment, by the way.
Zobrist talk will be a weekly segment where we'll just uncover new facts about Ben Zobrist's life.
Yeah, nothing about his career, just about his life, his personal life.
Just about his life. In high school, he was bullied.
What? He lost a nut
That's
in gym
crazy.
class. Period.
It's gone. He's got one. But yeah, inning number 1, Lorenzo comes out, bat out of hell. Meatloaf back. Was that on this? Was that on
sure
this
if
one?
It's on this one or not.
Meatloaf was somewhere. Meatloaf's back. Ben Zobrist, Lorenzo, comes out first inning, bat out of hell. Just like you said, 3 home runs, a double, 2 singles. I don't know if that's true. I'm just reading his stat line. He had 3 home runs.
Definitely
for
3
sure.
homers.
Definitely 3 homers.
That one made me laugh too. I'm sorry to keep bringing up the burn, but I the idea of 3 Homer Simpsons makes me laugh.
Keep sucking yourself off, Brendan.
I usually don't like
Mr.
them.
Burns. You said Mr. Burns. I had no idea what you were talking about.
Oh, you know what?
Until you said
Today
3
I'm
homers.
Mr. Burns because I did it. I did a burn. I'm Mr. Burns.
No.
Okay.
Revoked. Revoked. 3 home runs to start, and I was kind of thinking, like, damn, Lorenzo came to play today.
Was there anything you're noticing about the pitch mix of Joey that was allowing all these?
No,
home
I don't
runs?
pay attention to pitches because I'm a fucking loser.
So Joey has a fucking ridiculous riser, and I'm sure you noticed what he's throwing. Those were awesome. He didn't really throw a lot of those in the first inning. He just threw a lot of middle. They call them screwballs. I feel like the John Boy guys call them sinkers. But he's throwing a lot of screwballs that ended up just like he was essentially like Lance Linning it and just pounding middle fastballs, and they were not getting by Lorenzo. And to Lorenzo's credit too, he even when he wasn't hitting in the second inning, was still touching everything with the bat, like making contact. But all the middle stuff, he's rocking. I think one of the home runs, to be fair, was like a low under the plate or under the strike zone riser. But that was the only one that he caught of his risers was like they mentioned it was like a 70-mile-per-hour pitch. It was a slow one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just bad pitches from a guy that is apparently a very good pitcher.
Yeah. Famously, I don't pay attention to pitch mix unless
that's what I'm here to bring to
pitching.
the table. You bring the stats, I'll look out for the pitches.
Stats. Everybody.
We gotta make that song. You know, I'll actually work on that. I'll work on that.
All right, go ahead, work on it. I'm here for the hits, baby. Lorenzo's greatest hits. Good one, Brendan. It's like he's a musician.
Lorenzo Brist has a few albums.
He was really like doing well. If I don't recall, if I recall correctly, he was doing very good at like fouling off strike 3.
Yes.
And like he was doing this, and we've seen in games past when you can battle off a strike 3 like this, typically you're going to win. And if this was a one inning game, he would have done just that.
Right.
Because you see in the first inning, the bottom, Joey can't fucking get a hold of anything. Mm-hmm. He's swinging at things so far away from the zone. He's like not making good contact. He got a quick double, but that was like about it, right? No, quick double, then a single, and then strikeout. Or I'm sorry, ground out, strikeout.
And nothing against Joey there, but Lorenzo was painting early. He had some absurd bendas, as what's his name would call them. From
absurd what? I didn't hear what you said.
He would throw some insane bendas as Benda. Like what's his name calls it? Trevor Benda. Peter Moylan.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That was it was a fun watch in the way that the two pitchers were very different in their arsenal. I loved watching Joey figure out his fastball and what worked, and loved watching Lorenzo early on have some really good breaking stuff. He had two different breakers because he had his like just straight right to left slider that was just inside piping, and then he had that one curveball that piped like the up and in corner that he even surprised himself with. He was like, holy shit, I can't believe that dropped in for a strike. Like really good. Yeah. It's good. It's cool. If you're gonna have a breaking pitch, you need a couple different shapes. And he had both of them rocking early on.
Right, and it was a tale of two halves, right?
Yeah.
Because in the first one, you see Lorenzo at bat. He does not allow Joey to get his 3 outs because he hits the maximum. Then he goes to the mound, and he just is completely dominant. And then we see like the script flips, and out of nowhere, Joey is dominant again, and he's painting all over the place. He's doing an amazing job. Lorenzo, I felt like when I was watching this, kind of fell into this sense of comfort because first off, right, 1 run wins it. He has already hit 3 home runs, so he's capable of that, right? If he doesn't score, big whoop. Just prevent Joey from getting the 5, right?
You get too antsy, you get too aggressive. Like, let me just get this over. Let's get some runs on the board early and quick, and let's be done with it. He got, I think, runners on and looked antsy at the play. I totally agree with you.
He didn't really feel that pressure to perform until it was too late, in my opinion.
I feel the same way. This happens to me, too, when I'm playing with Chris, and I know I just need one more run. I feel like my at-bats get lazier thought-wise, and you're just like, let me just... They can almost sense that you just like want to get it done.
Right.
You're not patient at all. And patience is what really gets you into a better count and forces them to throw more pitches and get more tired and within that at bat. So it puts all the pressure onto you and relieves it off of them. Right. I don't want to give too much shit to Lorenzo because Joey started to really pitch really well. He must have realized that his riser was a pitch that Lorenzo was not seeing at all, because there were some pitches that ended up being middle, but the riser just, I guess the shape of that particular pitch. I mean, it's also I'm sure they've seen a lot more than we have, but that's to me one of the more difficult ones to see because you see it come from an over the top arm angle and you expect the ball to go straight. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, oh wait, it's like 2 or 3 balls above where it is supposed to be. That doesn't make any sense. So I could see that being a pitch that no matter how long you play blitzball for, it's really difficult to see. And that's one of the pitches that it seems like those guys will reach the top of the threshold for speed also. So it's at 80 miles per hour a lot of times. I think I heard them mention like a couple 79, 80 mile per hour pitches by Joey. And the ones that go up, it's already tough enough to catch up to a high pitch, let alone one that's constantly moving up and is at the top of the speed limit. So I think I'm glad that Joey figured out what was working for him. And that's the benefit of having those second innings, too.
Second innings.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know how these guys do it.
as far
I really don't. As far as seeing the ball. Like, it's exactly what you're saying. Like, it doesn't matter, especially Joey in the second. I was going to say second round. It's not boxing. I've never watched boxing.
Never will.
The second inning. I'll never will. Hold me to it.
Fans, and there's many of
Yeah,
you.
fans,
Hold
you're
them to
now
it.
responsible. Congratulations, you've earned responsibility. And this second inning, you see Joey kind of. Well, we talked about Lorenzo kind of falling into this comfort zone, whereas Joey's still fighting for his life.
Right. So
You
now we're
know?
in the part of the game where he cannot give up a run anymore.
Cannot give him no run no
Which
more.
I didn't know this rule until this happened, so I'm glad I learned. I don't know if you learned this here too, but I didn't realize that. Because I feel like sometimes I've played this way where like, all right, you max out at 5, then if you let up more runs, you still have a chance to catch all the way back up, even if it gets out of hand to like 8 runs. You still get to like keep working towards 8 if that ends up what it ends up being. But it makes sense. I agree with what they did, being like, well, if you scored nothing beforehand, you still only can get up to 5 runs.
In Blitzball Battle 1 with John Boy Media, I know that they had a rule where it was like, if you were losing 5-0 going into the second, you had to score essentially all of your runs. Or I'm sorry, if you were in the second and you were losing by more than 5, you had to score all of your runs before. Or I'm sorry, you have to score the first 5 before recording an out.
Oh,
it's been a long time.
That's a good
so
rule.
I'm a little iffy on the rule.
That makes sense. Otherwise, it's not fair because you capped the other team earlier. They could have ended up scoring 10 runs for all you know.
Exactly.
So I get that. So, either way, the way they did it in this tournament, I think, is totally fair. It works out. And it puts so much pressure. It's amazing how Joey's able to push through that pressure of like, I can't even bend. I'm not allowed to break, but I'm not allowed to bend at all. I can't even let up one run.
Yeah. For one full inning on the mound and at the plate.
Right.
And like so we talked about it, right? He gets Lorenzo out. He gets out of the inning and you start to think like, "Oh, well, good for him." I mean, he's still got a fucking mountain to climb to get back out of this. Because what? We've seen the maximum get hit maybe 3 times in this tournament.
Yeah.
Maybe. But he comes in and it's like you really see the wear of the 2-inning games because in these other games you're seeing everybody when you're on the mound, you're throwing 100%.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to go back out there. And
you see, especially whenever they do like the cuts to or like the replays of the pitch and they just show the pitcher throwing it, you're like, holy shit, like they're putting their whole body into this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
From behind the pitcher, you don't see it as much, and then the side view, we're like, oh boy, that's a full body effort right there.
First 3 batters, Lorenzo walks. And then it's like, oh, Lorenzo really needs an out here to stay in.
We're not getting the pitch by pitch like we do with John Boy tournaments, but you still get a sense. I don't know if it's just because we know he walked a few batters, but you get a sense that he is tired, like especially because he wasn't walking anybody in the first inning. So now it's like he looks like he is struggling not only to find location, but also just physically maybe struggling. And I guess those two things kind of go in tandem sometimes. Where like if you're struggling physically, you're going to start missing a little bit. Like a lot of times I start missing up when I'm tired.
Yeah, I get you. I start, just being just as bad as I was the whole game. So in this 4th at bat, it really could go either way because you have Joey starts to get excited like, oh, grand slam opportunity. If I could put 4 up before getting out once, that's huge for me. I'm right back in it. And you see him swinging at these balls that are just way out of the zone. So balls that he wouldn't even be touching, like even be like thinking about if this was another part of the game. And you think to yourself,
what a wonderful world.
And I think to myself,
what a wonderful
world. But you think to yourself, this is the pivotal at bat. If Joey scores, you get the feeling that Joey's going to win. If Lorenzo gets him out,
so you're talking about after the grand slam has already been hit.
No.
Oh, before. Okay.
Because Joey is like swinging at balls that are nowhere close.
Because I felt that way even more so after he hit the grand slam. You start to see him really fucking taking hacks because he hits that at least that one missile that goes foul, and even I think the one that he ends up hitting for the grand slam was like just fair.
Right.
But you can see him pulling fast pitches right now.
Right. It was a turning point at bat because of that.
Yeah.
Because if he got out, you're giving Lorenzo a lot of confidence back. Like, hey, I walked the bases loaded, but I could still do this. He hits a grand slam. You felt like
deflated.
This is going to extras.
Yeah.
This is going to the extras at the very least, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Joey hits a grand slam, and now all of a sudden, going from coming into this final half inning with 2 outs, or I'm sorry, final half inning, 5 runs to make up, 0 outs. You're now effectively going into the final inning with 3 outs left and only 1 run to score to tie it. And after this at bat, like ground ball single, another walk, and it's like, oh great, bases loaded again.
Yeah, like well now
still
we're just
no
waiting
outs.
for how. In what way is this gonna be tied now? Is what you're wondering.
Right. At this point, there's still no outs. Bases are loaded. Like, you could pitch the best you can, and no matter what, for these last, at most, 3 at-bats, the percentage of you keeping this game as you winning is so low.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he gets a strikeout, and then he gets another one. So the momentum is back. Now it's a legitimate.
You don't know who's more scared at this point with 2 outs, bases loaded, potential tie run at third base.
And you're back on the edge of your seat because it went from, okay, let's wait for the swing off to, ooh.
Well, he might not get it. Especially, I think maybe the pressure is even more on Joey because you at one point in this inning now expected him to just kind of easily move on to swing off. And now it's like, oh shit, like you had an easy chance and you might miss it now.
Right. But like the big difference here between Joey's final at-bats and Lorenzo's like half inning in the second inning at the plate is that Joey still looks like he's fighting every pitch.
Right.
Whereas Lorenzo kind of looked like very complacent.
Yeah.
Complacent's not the right word. Confident he could get it done like in the second inning, whereas Joey's like he doesn't have that luxury.
Right. Lorenzo was still like I said earlier was making contact with pitches in the second inning, but just not good contact. It was just putting the bat out there, fouling a lot of pitches off, but stuff that he was hitting,
which he's very good at doing.
Yeah,
he's very good at staying alive.
Just wasn't making
Lorenzo.
barrel contact. Joey switched his of like the big. He was still taking pretty big swings, but the first 2 at bats where he struck out, I think the third at bat he was like, all right, I need to like really slow down now because this is my last chance.
Right.
And you see that to the nth degree because there's some 2-strike pitches that he fouls off that were like, I am amazed that he touched that. 1, because it was a great pitch, and 2, because this is a terrifying moment in this game where your back's against the wall. And now you might have to go face the best player in Blitzball if you lose this game, and you came so close. Like that one pitch, especially the pitch that almost struck him out, that to me looked like it could have even nicked the strike zone after he fouled it off. I was kind of surprised no one really made an effort to call that out. Maybe it was easier to see in person that it was foul tipped and went straight to the ground, but I thought there was a chance it nicked the strike zone, and that would be such a shitty way to to end your day on like a foul tip to the pipe. But he fought that one off to then go and do what? And
then, he very poetically hits a home run where he only needed a single.
Yeah.
A single or a walk, and he would have gone to the swing off, but he hits a home run, which is kind of like if you believe in like fate. Mm-hmm. If you're watching a movie or reading a book, you know, if you hit a home run to go to the swing off, you kind of feel like this is the person who's going to win.
Right.
Because they kind of have the momentum behind them, right? But then in the swing off.
Yeah, I fully wrote off Lorenzo after that home run.
Me too. In the swing off, Lorenzo hits a weak single.
Easy.
What?
It wasn't that easy, as we're about to say.
No, it wasn't that easy at all. It went, 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds, the swing off, where Lorenzo and Joey just kept getting out. I think Lorenzo got out every way that he can, a pop-up, a ground out, and a strikeout.
Oh, wow.
Whereas I think Joey kept just striking. Joey struck out 3 times. Mm-hmm. Nope, sorry. Joey struck out twice, grounded out for
right,
the
that's slow
third time
dribbler.
and on to round 4. And then very last at bat where, again, only a single is needed to win.
Yeah.
Joey hits another home run, and what a great way to go to the championship on a really, really like great game. This has been the best game of the tournament.
Yeah, all the way back from nothing. I mean, props to Lorenzo too for coming back after like not looking great in the mound in the second inning, to then looking dominant for a few at bats in a row.
Yeah.
Same thing for Joey too to be up there. Like, it's such a fun game to have to match each other because it's one of those things that's like extra innings. You like, oh shit, we didn't get the Manfred runner in. Now we lost,
Right.
and then you somehow get out of it and like, oh shit, like now we have the momentum. It's such a momentum shifting game when you're in a swing off.
Yeah.
So Joey, this is when I really started to notice that he had found his rising fastball, because there was, I think, one of the at bats that he strikes out Lorenzo just threw straight risers in a row, 3 in a row, and just like strike. Like, okay,
Yeah.
he found what works for him right now, and that's what got him to the place he ended up.
Yep. Exactly. So now we've said all we have to say about the game. We'll go on
Good game.
to our player of the game.
Player of the game.
There were only 2 players in this game. One of them won. It's Joey. Play of the game.
I
That was
laughed
funny.
because I was laughing along with my friends.
I know. There's a lot of all of our friends are here.
You know what I did to make that laugh track, by the way? I individually recorded on my phone people laughing in town, one by one, and clipped them all
Can
together.
you laugh for me?
That's 600 people laughing.
Can you please laugh for me,
Yeah,
sir?
I cut out all the
No.
people like arguing with me before they laughed.
How'd
It was all arguing until I tickled them.
you get this number, sir? I'm talking to you in real life.
Yeah, it was all in one day too. I tickled 600 people one day, one Saturday afternoon.
Your fingers must have been killing you.
Oh my god, bleeding.
Bleeding.
Yeah.
Okay, Brendan. Since I got player, it's only fair that you get play.
I don't even remember what we agreed on. We said it was, which part was it? The home run? Was it the grand slam?
Curtis. Yeah.
Yes, because you were down 5-0, and now to make it a 1-run game with no outs was enormous. You need that. If you didn't have that grand slam, if you didn't come within 1 run with 0 outs still, you're so much more scared making up the rest of the deficit.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, just the fact that it was no outs, playing for your life, essentially. I mean, I know you'd get another game going up against Adam, but you'd much rather just go to the championship.
Oh yeah,
than
when
have
you
to
come
play
that
and
close,
do or
you can
die.
smell it.
You just
Smells like championship.
But yeah, the Grand Slam is such a tone changer. Like, you go from being shut out to immediately being just 1 run away from tying it, setting the tone for the rest of the game, where he hits another home run in regulation and then another home run to win it, is insane.
Yeah.
Like, Joey finished the day after going scoreless in the first inning. He finished with 2 home runs, a double, 3 singles, and he walked 4 times.
Yeah.
5 earned runs. You know, he may have struck out 4 times, but at the end of the day, all that matters is that he's in the championship right now, and Lorenzo has to play a game where he could potentially be eliminated after such an amazing run so far.
Right. Yeah, I think even like tournament-wise, we talk about momentum all the time on these shows. Tournament-wise, that's a huge momentum shift for Lorenzo. I'd be like, shit, like I really had it going with me, and now I have to face the best player after a loss, especially my first real loss.
After a loss, especially first real loss.
Tough. I also had an honorable mention off pod about Lorenzo shutting out. No, Lorenzo getting shut out. I guess Joey doing the shutting out of Lorenzo in that second inning, because, like we said earlier, if he let up a single run, he would have lost. So him getting, after letting up 5, then putting up a 0 was huge. So awesome job there. Another shout out for me, just a favorite home run of the day. There's a lot of home runs out there. Just the prettiest one, the one I enjoyed most to watch, was Lorenzo's home run off that low riser. That he just kind of stuck his bat out, like almost cricket style, not quite, but just like kind of had a nice low golf swing.
Oh.
And the way it like just line drived out to the Wifco field sign.
All right,
Was very sad. I just love like a hard home run that just
Wifco sign
dinks
field.
against the sign and just falls back onto the field. Very, very satisfying to watch.
Very satisfying. Lorenzo's going to be in ball and play next year. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
But with that, Brendy, let's go on. Let's do a little preview.
Ooh, a little preview.
Lorenzo versus Adam in the next semifinal. You know, if you're talking about experience in semifinals, Lorenzo has the edge. I think. So here's the thing, right? These two haven't played each other yet. Adam played Joey in his first round. So the championship will be some sort of rematch, whether it's a semifinal rematch or a quote unquote second round rematch.
Right.
I think personally, Adam has just been getting better throughout the entire tournament. Better. Whereas Lorenzo has been hot and stayed about the same level hot all tournament until the second inning was involved.
And now he's getting exposed.
Exactly. Well, so here's the thing, right? Adam's been getting better, but only having to throw one inning. Is this same type of like fatigue curve going to hit Adam like it did Lorenzo? Lorenzo now, theoretically, knows how to save his energy for the second inning. So is he going to step back up? Is Adam going to face this type of like second inning syndrome where he was throwing his hardest in the first and then now it just dropped down again? That's going to be the main storyline here.
Yeah. I mean, not knowing these players all that well yet, I feel like the way that Adam has been getting better throughout the tournament, to me, that would translate to a second inning as well, especially him being like a big, lanky pitcher type. I think that serves, being a pitcher type, I think serves you better in a longer game.
Yeah, I would say that as well, if not for the fact that Lorenzo has been arguably the best player at staying alive at the plate in the tournament.
Right.
So that's what makes this a tough call, and that's what you want in a semifinal. You don't want a semifinal where it's like, oh, obviously Adam's going to win, or obviously Lorenzo's going to win. I do think, despite the fact that Lorenzo is so good at battling off strike three, I do think that Adam is now fully warmed up, and he looks scary, both at the plate and on the mound. And I think Adam is going to go through to the final 5-3.
Yeah, I think it doesn't help that we know Adam is ranked number one for a reason, and he has started to heat up. I think those two things put in the pot together make it dangerous for Lorenzo. There's a chance that if Lorenzo is able to stay strong both innings and come out strong on the mound like he did in this game, but then sustain it, then that's a dangerous game for Adam to be against. So I want to say, off just pure looks, it could be wrong, but it seems like Joey's a stronger hitter than Adam is.
Ooh.
Maybe I'm wrong, but if Lorenzo
hit
can
more home runs?
pitch 2 good innings, even if he lets up a few, I think that puts him in a good spot. But he has to pitch really well in order to win it all. But I still will pick Adam as well.
Yep.
And I'll say 5-3.
Where have I heard that before?
No. No, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a high scoring game on one end.
Maybe 5-3.
It's gonna be 7-2.
I think it's gonna be a high score game. Maybe 5-3.
3 scoring 5.
There's gonna be one team's gonna score 3, the other one's gonna score 5. I think that's just what I'm thinking. Maybe one team will score 5, the other will score 3. I'm not sure, but some combination. Some combination.
Yeah, that leads to 8.
Brendan, what should people be drinking?
Subtlety, not Spindrift like I've been drinking.
Ooh.
Subtlety doesn't have any bubbles, but if you don't like bubbles, this is the drink for you.
What if you have a soda stream?
Interesting. I don't know what that would do. Bubbly tea.
Well, all the soda stream does is carbonate your.
Yeah, I feel like it alters taste a little bit because like plain seltzer tastes a little bit different than just like bubbly water.
You know what? Send me Subtlety. I'm going to carbonate it. I'm going to soda stream it.
Drink Subtlety. It's delicious craft organic iced tea that I make at my job. You can get it at thesubtlety.com. Use code HoppyBoys for $2 off. You can listen to Hoppy Boys, the podcast, if you like shows about beer and comedy. This episode won't be put out yet, but maybe next week, episode with John Boy Media famous BBD will be out there. So if you know who that is, you probably do because you're a Blitzball fan. He's sort of adjacent to that world. Check that one out. That's a good entry point for you if you like that sort of thing. Otherwise, you can listen to The Lonely Boys if you like Gossip Girl. I can't imagine you do if you are a big Blitzball fan and you're like a teenager.
Stop with the stereotyping, Brendan.
Who knows?
Enough.
I'd be amazed.
I'm over it.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Enough
I want to be
with
told
the
I'm wrong.
stereotyping. You're wrong.
I mean, that's true because I do. I love Blitzball and I love Gossip Girl. So actually, I don't love Gossip Girl. I like it fine. But
Okay, but you do love Gilmore
I love making
Girls.
jokes. I do love Gilmore Girls. It's a fantastic show. Very different.
Not what the podcast is about.
No, I get that. People confuse that a lot. Like, oh, how's the Gilmore Girls show going? Like,
You love the
I don't do
Golden
one.
Girls.
I've actually never seen a second of the Golden Girls, but I would like them. I feel like I love a bunch of old. It's crazy to me that those ladies were supposed to be like 60 years old because they look ancient in that show. And
They
60,
were
60 to me now. It's not that old.
They were
Like
60 years old.
I know, like 60-year-olds in today's day and age look pretty good.
A lot older, like when we
Back
were
in the
kids.
day, yeah.
60-year-olds looked.
That's
don't
a grandma
say back
age.
in the day.
Back in the day.
Don't say back in the
90s?
day, Brendan. That's what old people say. We're not that old. Like, when we were children.
When we're 60, we're gonna look
60s.
exactly the same as we do now.
Hi, everybody.
But
I'm
just sound
60 and sexy. That's
You
that's
turn into
Jim
a pervert
Carrey's.
when you're 30 years older.
That's Jim Carrey. It's a Jim Carrey impression. He said one day Jim Carrey's good. He was on a talk show. He said one day I'm going to look down on the camera and go, I'm 60 and sexy. And then when he turned 60, he posted a video of him going,
Oh wow.
I'm 60 and sexy.
That's
You
kinda
need
cute.
to
Makes me
you
glad.
need to watch this.
I was
Brendan.
actually just showing Nicole
It's like a
clips of Man on the Moon, like right before this podcast. That's kind of
Oh
funny.
my God, what a good! I don't love movies.
She
love
didn't
that
know
movie.
that's a long ass movie for you too. That's a weird.
It's so long. Yeah, but
she
it's
didn't
so
know the
good.
Tony Clifton character, so because I was like doing some of his like wah, wah, and
Tony
she's like, "What are you
Clifton
doing?"
is a real character that Andy Kaufman did.
Right. I was like, you should just watch the movie, so they'll explain it better than I do, but it's actually really long. You might not want to watch it.
It's
but
good.
It's good.
If you believe
R.E.M.
they put a man on the moon.
Man on the Moon. Oh,
R.E.M.
Oh.
Look it up, kids. But yeah, listen to all of Brendan's stuff. For me, I don't have anything to plug, I don't think.
Besides the other half of the show.
Go listen to our John Boy Media stuff, too. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about the YouTube?
That too.
Go listen to our John Boy Media stuff. Right now, we are in interview season for Floorball 2. We are going to have Drew Davis on next. That
Yeah.
episode won't be out until probably, my guess is Wednesday the 22nd.
Okay.
But he'll be up next. Then we're going to get some more members of the floorball community. Once this tournament is over, we're planning on getting some interviews from the guys in the 1v1. If you want to follow us on YouTube, go onto youtube.com, type in...
Wait, you forgot the
Blitzball
W's.
Boys.
Isn't it www dot?
I thought they got rid of that.
Shit, really?
Type in the Blitzball Boys, and I believe we should be there. It's under Boys Media. What have you been calling these, Brendan? Blitzball Boys 1v1?
Blitzball Boys 1v1.
No, you type in Blitzball Boys 1v1, you're just going to get this show. So just
Well,
type in
you
Blitzball
can go to.
Boys.
I think we're linked. We're like, there's a link to us in all the episodes of the Blitzball.
Is it
1v1s.
really?
There should be, yeah.
That's pretty rad. We made it big.
Yeah, it's much easier. Let's just say that for now. I forget that. I just forgotten that until just now. So, Leah, click the link below the episode you just watched of Blitzball 1v1s to find our YouTube channel.
Yep. Thank you very much for listening. Brendan, ask you the question.
Thank you. We love you all so much. Peter, you have anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
Bye-bye.